Jackson and I had discussed about a year that really stood out and really made an impact. And I realized back in 2007, a personal life began in me that hadn't started before that. But I was at my most angry. I was at my most hateful towards any kind of relationship. And I think it was because how I was being treated at home was already like how it's recognized now, not staying in your lane when you're a mother or grandmother and all that stuff. When you're those things, stay those things. Because it doesn't just mess the fuck up with my life, it messed me the fuck up to understand what relationships in any other capacity could mean. There was no description about what relationships meant. There was only, here's what you need to know about sex, here's this or that. But it didn't. There was no explanation about, okay, well, let's talk about what relationships mean now. No, none of that, of course. Because, of course, they didn't want me to have those things. They didn't want me to ingratiate myself into a life like that. They wanted me to just ingratiate into what they needed, their needs, their wants, because the people they had around them had died or left. Too bad. That's not my responsibility, is what I've learned. And it also meant for me so much that year because I recognized how much I was fighting for my blood brother's relationship with his girlfriend at the time. And I spoke to him about things that year too. When he came up to me, I think in April that year, when I was listening to the new Linkin Park album, he started talking with me about the situation. And I just said, well, you need to talk more then and communicate more. And you need to do those things if you care about this person. That year before that, a guy touched on me inappropriately on campus. And it happened for a little bit and messed me the fuck up even more about relationships and about just people in general. It messed me the fuck up. And I wasn't respectful with the person in taking care of it. And I was withdrawn about the whole situation because of the withdrawn situation at home. I think it kind of helped me to be that same person out there and not talk about my wants and needs and all that. So everybody just assumed, well, Marcel could take any kind of relationship, open relationship or whatever. I remember sitting on a bench and talking with a friend of mine and someone I was just getting to know. And he said that same thing. Brian said that same damn thing to me. So it was scary that year. Because I didn't talk to my family about the guy touching me inappropriately. I took care of it myself. I didn't feel comfortable talking to my family about it. So I went to the vice principal at Long Beach City College and talked to them. And they said, okay, go to student affairs. They helped me out with that situation. And I just ran through campus to hide every single time I didn't have a class. And I messed up a lot of friendships during that period of time and before that, before I even reported it. Because I was just upset about relationships and I had feelings for someone there on campus and I just got frustrated and annoyed and blamed them for everything and then blamed myself for everything, doing blogs constantly about it. First half blaming them, second half blaming me. So that year was the most stupendous year of so much happening at once, and it was just too much where I couldn't alchemate my own answers completely, even to myself. And I couldn't even understand when I was giving answers. So, yeah, frustrating and really emotional thinking about it now. And then November rolls around. So, when I told Jean-Pierre about being touched inappropriately, he said, I'm going to protect you from this. Well, I thought that meant everything. I thought that meant secrets too. Then in November that year, he told me, keep this secret about me having sex before in relationships from the girlfriend I have now. Okay, problem one, makes it seem like I'm going around sharing about your sex. That's your ego coming up right there, not mine going around talking about it. 2, you hurt me in the biggest level by shutting down what I did in April by talking to you about it. By talking to you about what happened to me. That was keeping a secret too. And when I opened up to you, you shut me down in November by saying, keep this sexual secret now. It's like, well, there's no point in talking to you about sex anymore. And I never did again, really. Joked, maybe, but never talked seriously about it anymore. And I recognized why. You were an asshole. You didn't care about me, you cared about your damn self. And that's what I learned. And that's what I learned so big in that moment. Because I talked my point of view in November and I said, no, you got to share with the person you're with that you had previous relationships. You don't have to talk about the sex in detail, but you should be saying, hey, you know what, I had sexual relations before? Because I don't give a fuck who you are. You could have something and share something with someone that you weren't affected by. And that's the biggest problem. If something's dormant, you have to find the fuck out if something's dormant in you, so you don't give it to someone else. And that's what I learned. Now that I look at it, that's exactly what I see in it. That's why I said that. And you know what he did? Oh, no, you're wrong. And then Eddie agreed, and pretty much Jean-Pierre took his side. So a wonderful thing. Eddie was just met maybe a year ago, and he's more trusted and valued in his criticism and critique than I am with my blood brother. And that's what I learned in that moment. So that year was a stupendous year of me having to go through trials and tribulations of my own frustrations and anger and everything else, and recognizing how much far apart I am from myself. And then realizing I'm far apart from my family, and I'm going to be even further apart from my family now because of how much they're treating me by not wanting to, by telling me how to tame myself when I'm not when I'm not situating myself in a place to be what they think I am. And I'm tired of being around people that think I'm something that I'm not. If you want to know me, get the fuck to know me.